Alright, so I've decided to do a video blog response to this one. That just makes it a little quicker and easier. I have a little bit of an outline in my head. I'm going to focus centrally on 3 of the Twitter questions to respond to the writing prompt or blog prompt. And that is, how can you as a teacher use technology to advance the creative process, inspire ingenuity, and support knowledge construction for your students? And I'm going to frame this around the central idea of Khan Academy as constructed by students. So the thought is to influence learning. The best way to do that is to teach. You don't really learn something truly unless you are able to explain it to other people. And students can create a compendium of Khan Academy-like videos for other students. And I think this would be a great project for pretty much any student. But let's jump into question 8, which is, it's easy to think of ways to enhance learning for visual and oral learners with technology, but can you think of something technology can do for kinesthetic learners? Now, this is not strictly kinesthetic, but you would be using your hands or something to draw either on a computer or on paper with a videotape over your shoulder. You're writing out formulas, how to do things step by step while explaining it in your own voice and your own words, which would give kinesthetics people a little bit more mobility in mathematics. It would also allow kids to take things into a real world perspective and apply different kinds of examples that maybe don't show up in class on the fly. And question 7 is essentially one activity that you're excited about, and my Khan Academy idea is something I'm super excited about now. I'm really working towards expanding this idea and refining it and trying to implement it in time. Question 4 is the real meat of the writing prompt, and that is, expand on the real world in the classroom ideas. How would you use computer technology to bring the real world into your classroom? Well, for one, what I'm doing right now, not real world, but my real kitchen, and I'm bringing that into the classroom in a sort of way. But namely, the Khan Academy idea as produced by students for students would work towards the idea of exchanging products or projects between students in the classroom, which is from the edutopia.org website article that we read. And a lot of these ideas kind of come to putting classroom work online for display and publishing them to either your immediate community, the world, or the general public. And these projects clearly are something that are easily put on a forum like YouTube or whatever, and can be blasted and used by future students, as well as students across the world, as referencing tools, in student language, in their voice, and it might reach more kids. And part of that aspect would be digital reflection and feedback. So other students would come in, and part of the assignment would be to kind of have a peer grading, not too strict, not harsh, just some commentary feedback, what you could do better, what you didn't quite explain very well, what they don't understand having left your visual lesson. And the Teach Hub article, which actually is about bringing the real world into your classroom. Now, this goes over bringing in real world applications to the classroom. And the Khan Academy project that I'm thinking of in my head would allow students to really research real world applications to any given math concept and kind of give a realistic approach and idea and scope to the project. Let's say you're going over the concept of slope, one of the first things you learn in mathematics. So y equals mx over b. Now you could do slope, and a lot of people confuse, which variable goes on top, which one goes on the bottom, and struggle with it. Now, if you look into something like the highway on I-5 in LA, there's a pretty steep hill on that highway, and you could look at that hill and say, how would you want to represent this number? Would you want a big number or a little number? And then you can go into the details of how road steepness grades relate to slope, and how a grade of 0 is, flat and therefore not labeled by signs. And, that's one way you could bring the real world in. Real examples, simulate real things, which is all mentioned. But also, it really brings the kids' voice and uniqueness and individuality to their classroom assignments. It's more than just answering questions. It's more than a worksheet with 50 math problems. It's something that they are creating for themselves and others to really understand the concepts and really help others understand the concepts. And it can be published in a variety of methods. And this kind of thing, if we go back to the Edutopia article, they had a concept of a flat classroom project, which is essentially, from my understanding, something like YouTube. You throw it up on YouTube, the whole world's there, right? But instead of it being the whole world, it's more centered around people their age. And at some point during the year, they have a summit where everybody kind of goes online and has kind of a seminar related to these projects and sharing ideas and formulating ideas. And I think that's really great for perspectives and individuality and really sharing ideas and concepts. And I think that's just about it. I mean, bringing the real world in, yeah, you can bring on guest speakers, but what's George Takei gonna say to your kids that they're gonna listen to any better than you? It's just some guest speakers are better than others. It's not very different than playing a movie or a video during class. I mean, they might get something out of it, they might tune out. I'm more apt to question answer sessions or students from other parts of the country, math classes being beamed in via Skype so that we can have a collaborative classroom there and see how they do things a little differently, or how they understand things a little differently. And I think technology could really amp up the interest in math. It's historically a difficult subject for the more intelligent kids, which is a preposterous idea. But I think that with the integration of technology into the mathematics classroom and the integration of more applicable and contextualized assignments and assessment measures, I think kids could really have fun with it and really change your perspective on math and grow to love it. At least that's the final hope. And that is all I have to say about that. Thank you for watching.